Yo, welcome back to Herbistry420. I'm your host, 40. Today we're going to make gummies with LorAnn Gummy Mix, right? I've been asked this question several times on how to use this or how to make gummies with a mix, and to be honest, I've never done it. I read the backs of this box, and the reason that there's like a paper clip or a chip clip on top is because I opened it, because it says that there's two different powders in here, and I wanted to make sure because it felt like there's only one. The reality is, it's just as easy to make these from scratch. Check a link up at the top. I have a series on this, right? But if you want to know how to use this, come on over here. Let's get started, baby. All right, so we're closer. You need a few things. Number one, you need water. Inside this cup right here, I have 3/4 cup of water. And inside right here, I have 1/4 cup of water. This is what the instructions say right here on the back, right? Inside here, there's two different powders. Now, before I show you that, you're going to need some food coloring. This is optional. You're going to need a flavoring. This is not optional. You're going to need some type of flavoring. I'm going to use LorAnn Oils Blueberry Concentrated Flavoring. I have potassium sorbate here, and what this is used for is to extend the shelf life of gummies, making them shelf stable. So the reality is, it doesn't say that you need to use this, but this will make it so that they will be good for quite some time, right? So let's go ahead and open this up, and when we open this up, we're going to see that there is a gelatin packet right here, and then inside here is just powder. This is the gummy mixture, right? So it says right here, it says in a small bowl add 3/4 cups of water. This is 3/4 cups of water, and then sprinkle in the gelatin packet. This is the gelatin packet. We're going to open this up, right? Now, once we put that inside, we're going to want to grab a fork or something to make sure all of this becomes submerged and touched by water, because now this gelatin needs to bloom. So I'm just mixing this gelatin up inside the water. It's going to start blooming, and we're going to leave it alone. Inside the saucepan, I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat on to medium-high for now. I'm going to go ahead and dump in the packets of this. This is the next step here. 1/4 cup of water, medium to medium-low heat. I have it on medium-high. I'm not following the directions just because I want it to come up to temperature faster. But the idea is this should come up to kind of like a slow simmer, right? I have no idea how many this is going to make, right? In fact, I'm not even going to infuse these. However, I'm going to explain at what point you would want to if you were going to infuse them. So that's for two reasons. Number one, I don't know how many gummies this is going to make, so I won't be able to properly dose them, and I don't want to just randomly make 100-something gummies and not know what the strength is going to be. However, once I finish this, if I wanted to do this again, then I would know how many this is going to make, and then I could, of course, figure out what kind of dosages I want, etc. Now, mind you, this is crazy because there is a lot of powder in here and it's not all touching the water. Let me grab my cell phone. All right, so as you can see, a lot is not covered, right? But the reality is, once this gets hot, everything will become more liquidy, and we'll be able to move this around and get everything dissolved within that small amount of water. So we're just going to keep stirring as this is dissolving. I'll show you again in a second what it looks like on the cell phone, but there's still a bunch of clumps in here. It for sure is becoming more liquidy. But yeah, so let me shut up. I'll show you in a second what it looks like. All right, so it hasn't been that long, like a minute or two. It's definitely dissolving. We've got a ways to go, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like right now. The idea is to bring this up into a simmer and then drop the heat. Once this gets a little bit warmer, I'm going to drop the heat because at the moment it's on medium-high. We'll put it to medium once this becomes more liquidy. I'm going to grab this little silicone wire brush, and the reason for that is it says once this becomes to a simmer, we should get this wet with some water and then wipe the sides, just in case there's sugar crystallization on the sides of the pot, which leads me to think that there's probably, I don't know if it's corn syrup or what, but there's something in here. There's sugar, etc. in the gummy mix. I wonder what else, right? You can see this is definitely bloomed right now. It's a big clump of gelatin in here, and we will add this once this becomes smooth and it comes up to a simmer. All right, so this is what it looks like at the moment. Definitely, it looks like everything is dissolved. I've dropped the heat down. It's at medium right now. Let's go ahead, and you notice on the sides of the pot right here, you can see that some of this mixture is there. So let's go ahead and take our wire brush. We're going to come over here. We're going to turn the water on. We're just going to get it wet. We're going to come back and we are going to wipe the sides of the pot, right? And by doing this with a little bit of water on the brush, we are going to make sure all that stuff goes down into the mixture, and that's what we're looking for. I'm sorry if I moved the phone because I was trying to look inside and not look at the camera. All right, we're going to take this off of the stove. After we take it off the stove, it is bubbling in here. I don't know how well you can see. It's looking good. We're going to go ahead and take our gelatin, and we are going to put our gelatin inside this bowl or inside of our pot, and we're going to keep stirring until everything dissolves. It says to do this off of the heat. I don't understand why. Why not have the gelatin on the heat? So it would make all this a lot easier, right? In fact, let's cheat. I'm not following the directions right now. I'm putting it back on, keeping it warm, maybe taking it off so nothing is boiling in here. We just want a light simmer. It's still bubbling. That's looking good. We're stirring to making sure everything is incorporated. Once in a while, bringing it back on the heat just to make sure everything is hot. But again, I think the only reason I'm putting on the heat is keep everything at a certain temperature to make it easier for everything to dissolve inside. See this little piece right here? It hasn't fully dissolved. That's going to take a little bit, it seems, huh? Put it back on the heat, keep things hot. Basically, it says once everything is dissolved, what we're supposed to do, and it's not supposed to be on the heat right now, so I don't know if I'm doing something you shouldn't be doing, but it feels like it would dissolve faster with heat, right? That's why I'm doing that. But anyway, once this is fully dissolved, we're going to let it rest for 5 minutes. After we let it rest, we're going to scoop off any foam that rises to the top. The foam is the impurities, etc., that will make it so the gummies aren't perfect or don't look crystal clear. It's interesting because if you look, like right there, not all of it is dissolved. It seems like it should have already dissolved. That's why I put it back on the heat. I'm going to keep stirring, and you can see there's little pieces in there that are not fully dissolved. Most of it is, but you don't want to leave clumps in there, huh? Because imagine when they set, if there's a clump of gelatin or this gummy mixture or whatever, it's not going to taste nice, I don't think. So we're going to keep stirring until it looks like it's all dissolved. All right, we're going to turn off the stove. We're going to let this sit for 5 minutes. Then we're going to scoop off the foam. After we scoop off the foam, we're going to add the coloring, the flavoring, and the potassium sorbate. All right, let's see if I can do this with one hand. So this is the foam that's starting to appear on the top. We're going to take a spoon. We're going to drag it across. We're just trying to pick up just the foam, right? Come over here to the sink. We'll get rid of it, and then we'll come back and try to pick up the rest. The idea by removing this foam is making it so this foam won't be in the back of your gummies, etc. Now keep in mind, right now, after we take off the foam, that's when you're going to add stuff, which includes the flavoring, the coloring, etc. But it also includes, if you're going to infuse them, you would do it after this step. All right, this is where I left it. I just wanted to show you. There's still a little bit right there. It's fine, huh? It is what it is. I put it back on the stove. The burner is off, but it's still, the residual heat is keeping it warm because it's starting to get very goopy, right? So I put it back there to make it easier to work with. Let's go ahead and take 1.5 teaspoons of our flavoring. We're using blueberry. You could use whatever you want, huh? So 1.5 to 2 teaspoons. Or actually, the directions say 1 to 1.5, so let's do that. Let's do 1.5. All right. Now keep in mind, this flavoring does have color to it, but we are going to add some color just to make sure these are super blue. I have a sky blue coloring right here. We're going to go ahead and add 1 or 2 squirts. Oops, it's almost out, huh? So let's just try to get whatever's in there out. Should have picked a different color. All right. We're going to take 1 teaspoon of potassium sorbate. In order to make this, you could buy the crystals on Amazon. It's a 3-to-1 ratio of water to potassium sorbate. The crystals come in these, like, they look like little pellets, and you mix 1 part, and I would do this with a scale. So if you took 10 grams of potassium sorbate crystals, put them inside here, and you of course would weigh this by tearing the scale. Then you put in 10 grams of potassium sorbate crystals, then you'd put in 30 grams of water weight, you'd mix it up or shake it up, and then you're left with this, right? Let's go ahead and take 1 teaspoon of this. We'll drop that in. All right. Now, if I was going to infuse this, I would infuse it now. The one reason, or the only reason I'm not infusing this, is because I don't know how many this is going to make, and I don't want to make random potency gummies at the moment, right? So, we're stirring this up, making sure everything is incorporated well. Now, keep in mind, if you were infusing this with something that required or if you were infusing this period, right, and it had lecithin or guar gum in there, those would be the emulsifiers to make sure oil would work with water, right? And you're going to use your emulsifier with whatever you're infusing this with. You can avoid it with tincture if you want, but it's still a good idea to add it. So you would probably do the same exact thing here. We would have it on the stove, we would be mixing it in here, putting the guar gum or the lecithin plus either the can of oil, the can of butter, or the tincture, or the concentrate, if it was distillate or if it was decarbed rosin, etc., right? All right, so I think this is pretty much mixed. I have some new molds over here. One of the motivators for trying this today is I have these new square molds. I just washed them, so let's hope they're dry enough. All right, now probably is going to fill more than just one, but I have 3 of these molds, so that's cool. Let me go ahead and go get a dropper or a syringe. All right, we've got the syringe, we've got our mold right here. Let's give it one more stir, and then let's go ahead and draw some of this up. So we are going to fill our gummy container here, and I'll just shut up and fast forward this, huh? Now this is a, how much is this? This is a 60 ml syringe, huh? So if I fill this to the 60 mark, which is there, now we're going to have an idea of how many milliliters per each of these, right? So if this is 60 milliliters in the syringe, are we filling up? Let's see, 1, 2, is it just 4 or more? So almost 5. That means that it's almost 12 milliliters per gummy is what this mold is holding. So that's important to note, right? It is getting harder to work with. I think it was a good idea to put this back on the heat, because if I didn't, I think it would have gelled up already too much to be able to be put into a mold, actually. It does not say that in the directions, but I'm pretty sure based on how everything is responding right now that that is the case. All right, so now that we have all of these filled, I'm going to take a torch just to torch off any of the bubbles, huh? Now you don't want to leave it in a specific spot for too long. This is just to remove any bubbles, but it doesn't look like it's working, to be honest. And that may be because things are already starting to set. This is very quick, right? Let me grab my cell phone and show you the difference of gummies that maybe have a little bit of the scum. So remember when we removed the spoon to remove the foam, this is what foam ends up looking like, right? So some of these, like this one and that one, they're going to be great. They're going to be perfect. But because I left a little bit of the foam, that's what this is, these two. That's what those are. That's foam, right? Now you could come over here and try to pop some of these bubbles that weren't popping because it's already setting. But whatever, these are for me. I don't care. But if you want it to be perfect, bring a toothpick and just pop the bubbles now. That would be a good idea. All right, so we're going to leave this for 1 hour, and then we are going to demold it. When we demold it, we'll come back. I'll show you the demolding. We'll give one a try. In order for them to dry, on the back of this, it says they need to dry, air dry for at least 6 hours. Probably overnight is my opinion, but let's go ahead. We'll be back in an hour to demold them. We'll give them a try, and whatever we don't try, I'm going to have 1 or 2 when we try. Whatever we don't try, we're going to leave to air dry in front of a fan, you know, until tomorrow. And then that's it. They'll be good. And I'll probably finish them tomorrow when I'm stoned. Anyway, see you guys in an hour, baby. All right, so it's the next day, yo. I had planned to finish this video last night, but I wasn't prepared for how long these were going to take to dry. On the back of the package, it says within 1 hour demold, and then within 6 hours, it should be dry. That's for sure not the case, right? These are still a bit sticky, actually. If you look at this, you see how it just peeled off this one? Watch. And I don't have them touching very much, and the reason is because they're still a bit sticky. I'm going to put them back in front of the fan, but I need to finish this video because I have a bunch of other things to do today, so let's finish the video. I actually ate like 10 of them last night because I was a bit stoned. So anyways, let's give one a try on camera. Here we go. I mean, they're great, huh? The texture is nice. Granted, it's a bit sticky, but it's getting less the longer it sits in front of the fan. And that's the thing. You need to let them dry fully. It has not been 24 hours yet, but it's been like, I think 20 hours. So the reality is these are taking quite a bit to dry. They're going to sit in front of the fan more. So make sure you let them dry fully so that they're not sticky, right? If I put this on another gummy, it shouldn't be sticking to the other gummy like this, etc. if it's fully dry. Anyways, guys, gals, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Personally, I think you don't need a mix like this to make gummies. Just follow the recipe. Again, I linked it earlier in the video. Super easy. It's basically the same as this, more or less, as far as steps are concerned, and they come out great. And they're a bit more predictable than these were. But granted, this was my first time making them. It was just to give a go, to show you guys how to do it. I think I paid like 20 bucks for that stupid bag. Anyways, guys, gals, everybody, I should finish this, right? One of the nice things about having non-infused gummies is when I'm stoned, I could eat all of these. If they're infused, like 25 milligrams each, you can't just keep popping them, right? You know what I mean? I mean, maybe some of you, not me. Anyways, guys, gals, everybody, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. You know the deal. Bye. Till next time, I'm out.